Welcome in and thank you for joining me on HogvilleNET YouTube Live. This is my in-game and post-game. We're starting early. We're doing it. Start jumping at halftime. Arkansas, Oklahoma. For me, this is where Arkansas. The Razorbacks are still in must-win mode. Playing at home tonight after picking up a midweek win on their home court. Their first in SEC play after an unprecedented 0-5 start in SEC play under first-year coach John Calipari. By the way, this is the first season Arkansas will play Oklahoma in the first game in the series where both teams are members of the SEC. So right now, Oklahoma, after building a 13-point lead, Arkansas really fought and scrapped. I thought really started fighting for the first time this game down the stretch here late in the first half to pull within 4 at halftime. The Razorbacks late down the last 10 minutes had a couple of good defensive stretches. But the first time Arkansas, I think, held OU scoreless in the first stretch for about 3 minutes, but Arkansas kept turning it over on the other end, not getting any good offense. So they couldn't really put a dent much in the lead in this last run. Arkansas kept OU from hitting field goals. I think Jeremy Fear's 2 free throws, the only scoring that OU got here down the stretch after leading 33-20, a 13-point lead. A couple of Jeremiah Fear's free throws. The only scoring down the stretch is Arkansas closed out the first half with an 11-2 run to pull within 4 again at halftime. I'm Kevin McPherson. Once again, thank you for joining me on HogvilleNET YouTube Live. We're at halftime, so we're gonna track the second half here. I can't do live play-by-play, but again, this is must-win territory for Arkansas, and it's an interesting game. You know, Nolan Richardson in the house. Arkansas's got to recruit. Class of 2027. I've been reporting this the last couple of days. Just tweeted out on HogvilleNET, on Hogville's Twitter account or X account, a photo of him at the game. I reported yesterday that he would be at the game, and so, but Beckham Black, Anthony Black's younger brother, class of 2027, top 30 rated national player in the country, a 4-star out of Duncanville, Texas, same place where his older brother Anthony Black played before becoming a Razorback, one-and-done 5-star, number 6 overall pick in a couple of drafts ago, and now in his second season with the Orlando Magic. But Beckham, I've covered him in the spring on the spring and summer circuit. I've covered him with Duncanville when he played in the King Cotton Holiday Classic a year ago in Pine Bluff. So I've seen him play not only at the high school level, but again the grassroots level. And this is another, a guy that the last time I saw him, he was around 6 feet tall. Now they list him at 6'3", and you could tell by looking at photos of him, he's starting to sprout up a little bit. Anthony Black, his older brother, was a bit of a late bloomer, and so we'll see where this goes. But their mom Jennifer, who's a big fan of the Arkansas Razorbacks program, said this was probably she told me this is probably the one opportunity they had this year because of scheduling to actually make it in for a game, and it's a Saturday game. It looks like a hearty crowd. I'm not there tonight. I was at Bud Walton Arena for the first SEC win midweek against Georgia. And Arkansas, what Arkansas got to working for it, especially in that second half against Georgia, was just being a blue-collar, get to the ball first, use physicality, use some of our athleticism and size advantages at different positions, use some of those advantages to get to that offensive glass and get to the free throw line. This was a really rough start for Arkansas because this is not a good Oklahoma team when you talk about offensive rebounding or rebounding in general, except, about right before Arkansas went on its run, OU was +6 on the glass, 16-10. They were +3 on the offensive glass, 4-1. They were +5 in second chance points, 8-3 at that point, leading 33-20. Just to throw it in for good measure, they were +1 in the turnover battle. Arkansas had 5 giveaways. The Sooners only 4 at that juncture. So it was really important for Arkansas to not only start maybe making shots, but they had to start winning some of the blue collar stuff. Here at halftime, again, down only 4, the Razorbacks only -1 in the rebounding department. So in just the last few minutes, really closed the gap there. Advantage OU 18-17. Offensive rebounds went from 4-1 to 5-3, so only -2 there. Second chance points -3 now, OU 8-5. Turnovers, OU still has that 1 turnover advantage. It's still the same 5-4 there. Points off turnovers, OU leads that 2-0. Not a big cushion there. Both teams have 12 points in the paint. Right before halftime, it was +4 for OU, so Arkansas evened it up there. Fast break scoring, Arkansas 3-0. Arkansas not only needs to win fast break scoring, but that's one of the team's strengths going back in non-conference. +7 against Georgia, 10-3. Arkansas needs to find a way to get some live ball turnovers, get out in transition, even if it's not off a turnover, maybe off long rebounds, or just finding ways to get an advantage in transition. But still a 3-0 lead there. Bench scoring OU 9-6. OU has doubled up Arkansas in the steals department. It is a good defensive team in terms of creating steals, nearly 9 a game, but 4-2 advantage there. Each team has 2 blocks, and OU has doubled Arkansas in the assist department, 8-4. Arkansas really struggles here. All right, the second half has started. Carter Knox got Arkansas off to an 8-3 lead by hitting 2 threes in that early run. Arkansas has been competent from 3 tonight after a slow start. Nice backdoor play. OU's on offense now. So Arkansas got the opening possession to start the second half. Big Z gets a second half start. Jonas Adu been ineffective. Z's hit a 3, had rebounded a little bit, had blocked a couple of shots. Trevor Brazil also getting the second half start in place of Adu Thero. Interesting lineup for Arkansas to set the second half, but a backdoor cut, and we know Big Z can pass, and so he's come along the last couple of games. The loss at Missouri had a double-double. Arkansas lost by 18, but it was a positive. The last game, he gave Arkansas some positives in that big win over Georgia. And now in this game, getting the second half start, he makes a nice backdoor pass to DJ Wagner, who now is up to 9 points to lead Arkansas in scoring to this juncture. Nelly Davis hit a deep 3, one of the very rare drives I've seen him make all year long, taking his man off the dribble. He got all the way to the rim and finished with a lefty layup. Big Z just launched a 27-footer, didn't hit the rim. He probably needs to be a little closer to toeing the line when he shoots those threes. You don't necessarily mind him taking some threes, but that one wasn't close. So Arkansas down by 2, 35-33. Got a turnover on the other end after opening the second half with that score on the nice pass from Avicic to DJ Wagner. But Arkansas's basically got to own the glass in the second half of the blue-collar plays. OU is an elite free throw shooting team, and Arkansas really did a good job shooting nearly over 20 free throws a game. It wasn't until that late stretch where I mentioned Fears had those 2 made free throws. Those were the 2 first free throws of the game, and at that point, Arkansas had only committed 4 fouls. Those are the 2 first free throws for OU. Razorbacks down 2 with possession of the ball right now. The dead ball here, a foul called, I believe, on OU. I thought they might call an offensive foul on the Hogs. But thanks again for joining. We're 8 minutes in. This is another exciting game, another game where, remember, against Georgia, Arkansas trailed by 15 in each half and clawed its way back in and just took the game over by attacking the offensive glass and started to finally get some stops defensively. And this game was similar toward the end of the first half. Another turnover for Arkansas with a chance to tie or take the lead. And this has really been Arkansas's problem when they're competitive. Because remember, this team's only 1-5 in league play. So 5 losses, you can point to a lot of that ugliness and those missed opportunities of not being poised to overcome deficits and get over the hump. Not saying that Arkansas won't get over the hump tonight. I'm saying the last possession was evidence of what we've seen all year when you had a chance to put even more pressure on OU. Arkansas left a couple of 3-point shooters open on multiple possessions in the first half. Good wire, hit 3 of them. Taylor was another one that hit a couple. Goodire just had another wide open look but missed. Arkansas, a poor job on out of bounds play underneath the basket. OU back up by 4. And we've seen this all year long from this Arkansas team. Whether Arkansas's taking the ball out of bounds itself or coming out of a timeout, or the other team has possession, out of timeouts, out of bounds, underneath the basket plays. This is where Arkansas, the margins I talk about all the time, you have several of those plays a game, and Arkansas usually doesn't do very well in them, whether defending or on offense. So OU, again, back up 4. Just a breakdown on that out-of-bounds play. Nelly Davis missed a long 3 on Arkansas's previous offensive possession. OU back in possession. So these are not good teams. Remember, OU started 13-0 in non-conference play. ranked really highly in the national polls, and then has started 1-4 in SEC play. Had a bye in the midweek, so they haven't played since last Saturday. So both teams with only one league win. Arkansas with one more league loss than OU. Big Z just took another 3. Arkansas's got to find a way to make this game ugly. Getting on the glass isn't enough. Arkansas is going to have to attack the basket, and they're not doing that right now. They're settling for threes. That's not Arkansas' strength. The Hogs were 5 of 13 at halftime, 38.5%. Good job there, I guess. They hit a couple late in that stretch where they got back in the game, but they've settled for 3 so far in this half, other than that first possession where they did a good job of getting a backdoor cut and a DJ Wagner layup. So this is struggle time right now for Arkansas, as we're about 16 minutes, or excuse me, 3.5 minutes into the second half, about 16.5 minutes to go, down 4. And so some of the things you like, DJ Wagner tonight, his drive game, he's not a guy that has to get truly north and south. Arkansas takes another 3, another screen action for Nelly Davis, and it was an out-of-bounds play for Arkansas. And that worked out. Nelly Davis hit it. He's up to 10 points. He's 2 of 6 from 3. The bulk of his shot taking's been from 3 tonight. A low volume guy, but again, with Boogie Flynn out, he's now starting to take shots, taking a much higher volume relative to what he was doing with Boogie Flynn in the lineup. And now he's up to 10 points, which is, double figures. Arkansas needs all hands on deck here. But I think this is advantage OU as long as Arkansas keeps shooting threes. Two-man game with a Visits. So he got a screen assist. It was dribble handoff. It was a really good play. Arkansas's down only 1. This is as close as the Razorbacks have been. Remember, Arkansas jumped out to an 8-3 lead in this one, and now only down a point. So thanks again for joining me on HogvilleNET YouTube Live. Again, recruiting update. Arkansas's got Beckham Black in the house, class of 2027, top 30. We're at a commercial break. Top 34 star, 6'3 guard out of Duncanville, Texas. I've covered this young man again multiple times. He reminds me a lot of AB. They're really great connectors on the court because of their ability to pass, help defend. If you watch Anthony Black now in the NBA, it's not just the guy he's guarding. He is a great team defender and help defender because he's a big frame and he gets in. He understands how to play his man, and if his man's not on the ball, how to be close enough to the next guy. So when the ball swings, sometimes he does just enough disruptive just because he's in a spot to where he's a presence defensively in more than just one player that he's on. So certain guys, they're just really cerebral like that. But a great passer. Beckham is a better three-point shooter, a better perimeter shooter. Also a very good passer. Both of them see the floor. Again, they connect with teammates really well at both ends. And Beckham continues to grow, now listed at 6'3". Another player that was potentially going to be in the house tonight, I wasn't able to confirm if he made it or not, but he's been, I think, to multiple games this year. Future Hog Isaiah Seeley, class of 2025, top 74 star out of Springdale. Big win for the Bulldogs last night against their rival there, the other Bulldogs, the Purple Dogs, Fayetteville. But Seeley's having a strong year, as is Springdale. But Seeley was maybe going to be at this game tonight. Not sure if he made it. I'm not there. Haven't been able to confirm either way. I'm still working on that. We'll confirm that or not at some point. But the last time Arkansas had a Saturday game at home, I believe, was against Florida. And that's when Jalen Montnati, the class of 2026, 5-star, big 6'7" wing, a shooter. Arkansas could use a shooter. Was in the house for that loss to Florida. So Arkansas is doing what it needs to do in terms of getting players in on these Saturday games because, these high school guys have games usually on Tuesdays and Fridays, busy during the week with school and their own games. Saturday's your best opportunity to get players in. We'll see if Arkansas can get Nate Amin in, the 2025 6'9", Combo 4, top 5 rated 5-star out of Virginia. We'll see if that ever materializes in terms of actually getting a public known visit date. Alabama would be a great opportunity on February 8th, a couple of weeks from today, when Arkansas hosts the Tide. That might be an opportunity to do something like that. At one point, I was told that there was a game picked out, or that he was definitely coming to take his visit to Arkansas when they were hosting a game. As far as it actually being scheduled, it's never made out publicly, and I don't have any intel on that part of it. So we're waiting to see if it actually materializes publicly. It's one of those things, like if it turns out like Caleb Wilson, where it was scheduled. That was off the radar. I talked about it for months. Then he publicly said he missed that weekend and was going to take it the next, and then he didn't take that. That would never materialize. And he ended up committing to North Carolina, by the way. At least Kentucky didn't get him right. But Arkansas battling more now on the glass. Didn't do a good job the first 15 or so minutes, maybe 12 minutes. And OU's going to inbound here, coming out of a timeout, the under 16-minute timeout. Let's see if Arkansas can get a stop here and not give up a bucket off a good inbounds play coming out of a timeout to OU. So far, so good. Nothing quick and simple now. OU's out top, starting their offense. Nelly Davis on the passing line flashes. Gets a steal, feeds underneath the Big Z, who got too far into the basket. Nelly looks like he tweaked his ankle. What a disaster. That was a rare opportunity for Arkansas in this game to score in transition and blew it. But a good play by Nelly Davis on defense. Now he gets beat on the back door. Big Z kicks the ball to prevent a backdoor and easy layup. So Arkansas fortunate there. Jumped the passing lane. This is probably Nelly Davis's best game in conference. And just rolled his ankle. Man, Arkansas is just snake bit with injuries. These plays, I talk about Arkansas's lack of poise when they're on the cusp of taking the lead or tying so many times in these league games. It's stuff like that. Not saying Arkansas, again, that's going to define this game, but so far it has, although Arkansas, again, battled back after down 13, only down 1 here. Let's talk about the positives and what we also see that prevents Arkansas from being even better than what they've done to get back in it. So just over 15 minutes to go. OU fouled. It was a good give and go to the basket. Going to shoot free throws here. Arkansas has done a great job of keeping the Sooners off the free throw line. This will be their 5th and 6th free throw attempts. Carter Knox, are showing him walking back to through the tunnel. Nelly Davis still on the floor. What's next? I mean, it's an Arkansas team that's down to a top 8 rotation. That's tough. I think this is must win for the Razorbacks. I just don't think on your home court you're already only 1-2 in league play. You got to even that up and start taking care of home court. This is only a quad 2 win. By the way, Arkansas is 54th in net. In OU, I think is 49th or 48th. So this is a quad 2 game. You got to win these. You have to now. And you can't take another loss. I honestly think if Arkansas loses this game on its home court, any talk of NCAA tournament now, you could stick a fork in it. You're going to go on the road to Kentucky in a week. By the way, the Wildcats lost at Vanderbilt today. 3 of their losses on the road to Vandy. They lost at Clemson. They lost to Georgia, a Georgia team that got beat by 30 today. Nice drive. Okay, so OU makes both free throws, and then DJ Wagner with a little stop and go. A lefty finish, tough driving left through the paint. Drew a foul, and now he'll shoot a free throw with a chance to tie it. DJ Wagner, one of his strengths, we always talk about how I always said after Boogie he was Arkansas's best shot creator. Well, it's really not from behind the arc, and it's really not in the mid-range. It's his drives and float game and layup game. And he's not a typical guy when he gets downhill that's going toward the basket. He'll actually drive kind of east-west with a slight slant, maybe getting a little bit south, through the lane and on the other side of the lane. And he's got a nice array of lefty and righty fade away. He's fading away from the basket. His momentum's carrying away from the basket. He just kind of halfway turns and kind of scoops it, rolls it up toward and he's really good playing those off the window. Okay, so Wagner hit the free throw on the previous Arkansas and 1 finish. Tie game at 39 all. He just made a really good defensive play on Jeremiah Fears, poking the ball away from behind after Fears looked like he had an advantage, or reached in front of him and did it. Then Fears bumped him out of bounds. They call a foul on Fears. That's a turnover. Arkansas gets the ball back. Arkansas is really giving itself a chance here again. This is a team that's not good offensively, other than mucking things up. And, this has not been the night for Adu Thero. He's 3 or 4 from the foul line. I don't think he has a field goal. Jalen Moore, veteran big wing combo 3-4 for Oklahoma, has actually outplayed him tonight. That Theo, that is. At least he did in the first half. We'll see about the second half here. 14 and a half minutes, we're all tied up. OU back on offense. Arkansas failed to score. They didn't turn over. They got a shot. Nelly Davis was short off front of the rim on that. 20 minutes in, this is a game again. I think it's must win. Missed shot by OU. Out of bounds, dead ball rebound to Arkansas. Arkansas will be back on offense with a chance to take a lead. Remember, Arkansas again led 8-3, and then it was pretty much all OU from there all the way to that 33-20 lead. Arkansas cut it down to 4 at halftime. They're showing Carter Knox back on the bench. I say must win because I don't think you can have any expectations if you lose tonight to see a path to doing enough to get yourself even on the bubble for an NCAA tournament bid. I mean, in reality, of course, there was an opportunity to do that, but based on the reality of what this team is, it's not realistic. Good drive all the way to the basket by DJ. Didn't have a clean path and will hit right to the rim, missed the layup. Arkansas fought for an offensive rebound, didn't get it. On the other end, Jeremiah Fears got a layup and set what I'd call just good motion offense for Oklahoma. It wasn't true secondary transition, but Arkansas didn't really get set defensively that time. Davis way off. Drive in by Billy Richmond into the paint, kicked it in the left corner to Nelly for a three. You could tell coming off his hands, it didn't look like the ball was on a good trajectory. It was way off. So he's having another one of those nights. The last one I saw a stat, he was 2 of 6. I think he's missed a couple of threes since then at minimum. So he's at 2 of 8 at best right now, 25%. OU's up 2. Arkansas back in possession on an out-of-bounds play. Carter Knox back in the game. DJ's going to the bench. You're only getting 8 deep, so you have to do this. You have to get guys breathers and get them opportunities here. We're gonna be long on here tonight because I started at halftime, so we're already 22 minutes in, and there's still 13 minutes to play. So with timeouts and all that, this segment will probably be over an hour. I've been kind of keeping them anywhere to 30 to 40 minutes lately, but I'm not afraid. All right, Big Z just kind of ISO drove from the free throw line, extended down the right side of the lane, a little flip shot that went in, so good for him. And a steal by Nelly. It's his second steal. Arkansas's in transition. Nelly didn't finish the left-handed layup in transition after a steal, but he did get fouled. And this is a 90% free throw shooter. So Arkansas, after tying the game again on Big Z's little baby hook, just on the right side of the paint, down there in the block, Davis with his second steal in this half and then a transition opportunity. This time he keeps it, goes all the way. I really thought he should have finished that, but they did call the foul. So let's see what he does here at the line. 41 all, 12:47 to go. Arkansas with a chance to take the lead. 90% free throw shooter just missed his first free throw. I don't know how many times I have to say Arkansas really struggles getting over the hump, getting back in the lead. You know, you've blown several transition opportunities here. Made the second one. Arkansas goes up 42-41. So you'll take that. Arkansas was 85% on 32 free throw attempts. On 34 free throw attempts, made 29, 85+% in the last game. They're going to have to be really good there and get there more. OU's about to shoot free throws again. Jeremiah Fears will go to the line. So Arkansas's up 1. Fears made both free throws that he took late in the first half. Those were the first 2 for OU in the game. Again, an 80+, just over 80% on the season, 5th or 4th the last I checked in the NCAA Division I. So this is a team you just can't put at the foul line. Can't do it. Arkansas did a good job of keeping that low in that first half. We'll see about the second half. You won't win this game if you send OU to the line in volume here in the second half, because I don't have confidence that Arkansas can do enough offensively to counter that. So you're just going to have to play good defense without fouling. 6 of 8 at the line for OU. Both teams 6 of 8. So Arkansas winning the free throw battle just by virtue of keeping OU a team that shoots over 20 per game and off the line to this point for the most part, while also at least matching OU there. All right, Thero just got fouled trying to get an offensive rebound, so Arkansas keeps possession, and now OU's up to 5 fouls. So this is what Arkansas started to do against Georgia. Even when the Razorbacks didn't secure an offensive rebound and get a putback, they were drawing fouls with the opponent against Georgia, trying to keep them from getting the offensive rebound, and that's how they started getting the free throw line. Big Z trying to dribble again and lost the ball, but Arkansas maintained possession. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Billy Richmond drives all the way, double clutch at the rim, leaves it short. By the way, Fears made both free throws. I didn't say this. Arkansas gets a steal, now going the other way, not able to do anything in transition, but they do have possession. Arkansas down 1, 43-42. Another foul called on OU, I think. We're going to under 12-minute timeout. So the Sooners are up to 6 fouls. The next foul with 11 plus, nearly 12 minutes to go, gets Arkansas on the double bonus the rest of the way. This is similar to how Georgia played out. Now the key is going to be on those initial 1-and-1 opportunities. You can't have missed front ends, and you need to start making both free throws. Again, it's a shock to see Nelly Davis hit only 1 of 2, a guy that's basically shooting 90% on low volume, but still, he's usually reliable. Arkansas can't have a game where it takes a big step back at the free throw line. So far, even with OU, and that's a win for the Hogs relative to what each team has done so far. So I don't have stats in front of me now. It'd be interesting to see, but I think Arkansas is pretty much pulled even at worst case scenario and some of these blue collar stuff areas, and maybe to some degree pulled ahead of OU with the Sooners now with a 1-point lead, and Arkansas will be back in possession of the ball coming out of this timeout. Anybody's game. This was really what happened with the Georgia game. After being down 15, Arkansas clawed back in it down the stretch, and then it was back and forth. And the Razorbacks just made a few more plays. The hero in that game was Adu Thero. So far, he hasn't been that guy tonight, but it's been kind of by committee. DJ Wagner. Nelly Davis, he hasn't shot well again, but he's made plays. In the previous game, he had 3 steals. And he forced 2 other turnovers against Georgia that were like dead ball turnovers. He knocked the ball off somebody and was just being disruptive. So he accounted for 5 turnovers created on a night where he didn't shoot well. Tonight, again, not shooting well. He's got 11 points. He's shooting, he's made a few more. But what's he done? He's gotten the 2 steals and given Arkansas transition opportunities. Now, only got 1 point out of it, so they're going to have to do better there. But he's given Arkansas some stuff here. DJ Wagner, I said that. Carter Knox early hit those 2 threes. He had a layup in that run where Arkansas got within 4 at halftime. So he in that spurt there, he had a drive and a layup. I don't think he's done anything here in the second half maybe I've missed it, but he was at 8 points the last I checked. So Arkansas, you look around every game in the SEC that Arkansas's played in, and they've been just woefully bad overall field goal shooting. With one exception at LSU, a loss. They've been horrible shooting from 3. Not good tonight, probably by now when we look at it statistically. And then once again, but their volume a little bit. I think they've got at least 6 or 7 made threes now, which like the last game they were 3 of 23, I believe. So they've at least doubled that up at this point. That's something, and we've still got 11 minutes to go. But I said it. I think the more Arkansas shoots threes, the less opportunities to get to the free throw line and do that blue collar dirty work and really put the pressure on Oklahoma not to foul. So that's a big deal. They're showing a replay coming out of the timeout of Thero's finish against Georgia to win that game. And it was him that got that steal from behind where OU was trying to go run in transition off a miss that got Arkansas possession back. I'm too nervous to watch. What's the score? Got another comment. Go Hogs. Arkansas trails by a point, 43-42, coming out of the timeout. Arkansas is in possession of the ball, out of bounds play underneath the basket. 11:47 to go. So OU leads by a point. Arkansas led momentarily on a 1 of 2 free throw trip by Nelly Davis, but Jeremiah Fierce hit a couple of free throws on the other end on the next possession for Oklahoma. The refs are terrible. I mean, hey, as long as they're calling fouls on OU and Arkansas can make free throws once they start going. Another little touch bucket for Big Z, another baby hook, about 10 feet from the basket. Arkansas got a shallow pass to him. Just outside the mid-post area, took one dribble toward the paint, turned, going from left to right. So Arkansas's back ahead, 44-43 with 11:14 left. OU's now deep into their offensive possession on the ensuing play. Arkansas gives up not one but 2 offensive rebounds on the other end. For OU back to the free throw line again. So all right, now Arkansas got over the hump to take a lead, but it's these opportunities again and again to get a stop and then go the other way and build on it. And instead, OU gets two more opportunities after a miss. The one guy that's really not hit free throws from there is their big man. He just missed another one. He missed 2 to end the first half. Missed the front end of this 2-shot situation, Sam Godwin. So this is good for Arkansas. The percentages are low for OU relative to what they're used to, and it always ends up being about who takes them. So he makes 1 of 2. Godwin does, and we're tied at 44 all. Now OU's pressing, and Arkansas is trying to inbound. A deflection, but Arkansas is fortunate to DJ Wagner runs it down. Arkansas will now on offense. Tied up 44 all. This feels like Georgia, doesn't it? Thero just took a 3-pointer. That's not his game, but it was a splash. Has this guy been clutch? Arkansas with its biggest lead since leading 8-3. It's 47-44 with 10.5 minutes to go. OU's on offense. I mean, look, Arkansas's got to win this game. Period. Got to. You're put a fork in these hogs if they don't for this season. That's it. But there's opportunity still for this team, but they got to win tonight. It'll be hard too. I mean, I don't see Georgia or OU as top of the league kind of teams, and their records say it. Georgia's now 2-4 after losing by 30 today at Florida, and OU's 1-4. So, OU's on the bubble, a 10 seed projected by Lenardi, the last 4 buys coming into this game. Arkansas just got to stop. Big Z got a defensive rebound. Man, he has gotten better and better in these last 3 games. We've seen him block a couple of shots, get a few rebounds. He's scoring around the basket. He's going to take a 3. I'm going to wait. All right, we got a timeout and a dead ball. 10:04 left. Arkansas's hit back-to-back threes. So my whole point was Arkansas needs to stop shooting so many threes and go to the basket. What do I know? Arkansas's got its biggest lead of the game, 50-44 with 10:04 to go. Big Z hits a 3. The previous possession, that's his second of the game, by the way, was a dude Thero, who I don't know the last time he made a 3. But Arkansas with back-to-back threes, they've got at least 8 makes from 3, maybe 9. I've lost track since halftime, since I had the halftime stats. But I know for a fact in this half, Nelly Davis has 1, Big Z and Adu Thero now with back-to-backers. So what do I know? Arkansas is being competitive from the 3-point line, competitive at the free throw line. In so many of these losses, it was the reverse. That's what did Arkansas in. It's not shooting enough free throws and not being good enough percentage-wise, even when they shot a few more than normal. And then the 3-point discrepancy is just brutal. Tonight, Arkansas is competitive in both areas and got competitive again in the blue collar. I still think the more Arkansas shoots threes in this game, it's advantage Oklahoma. I mean, I'm wrong right now, and I guess that could continue to be a trend, but I do think Arkansas needs to find a way to attack. Big Z's hit a couple of touch shots around the basket, and then you've knocked down a couple of threes in these 2 of your possessions here lately, which then says, okay, maybe you can get OU playing up a little bit on your drives, and now it's an opportunity to go get that 7th foul, get to the free throw line, and start making hay there. I just don't trust this Arkansas team to maintain hot shooting from 3 unless this is an outlier, in which case I'm not going to predict that. If it turns out that way, we can say I'm wrong, but all the evidence so far through this point of the season says I'm spot on about what's typical. And so it's nothing I'm saying that you haven't seen. But thanks again for joining me on HogvilleNET YouTube Live. 35 minutes in, we still got a long way to go. This was something I haven't done yet. I usually come on 10 to 8 minutes left in the game, and today I did it at halftime. I wanted to spend more time with this team, talking about this team. And I talked about Beckham Black, class of 2027 on the visit. He's got a ways to go. But I think the Black family was really pleased with their time at Arkansas and that experience. And you got to be pleased with the idea that John Calipari gets guys to the NBA. His track record's is better than everyone that I've ever paid attention to in the coaching game, which is all of it. So there's not anybody that's been any better in the business and getting guys to the next level. So, I say advantage Arkansas at some point. Not a young man that can help them anytime soon. But again, I made the comparisons. Better shooter than AB, not as big. Probably not the defender that AB is, but he's one of those guys that a great assist player, plays with great pace as a lead guard. I think he plays with better pace than AB as a lead guard. AB's getting better on the NBA level. He's learning the speed of that game, the nuance of playing two-man game. And, he came out as a 19-year-old, so he's only going to get better. But Beckham's, to me, in some ways, is already maybe a little more advanced than even his brother is right now in certain things. Wouldn't probably be able to beat him in a game of one-on-one, but, relative to the shooting especially. Arkansas's fired up right now, man. They're coming out of the timeout. Big Z's, they look like they believe. This would be the second game in a row where Arkansas has overcome a significant deficit. Remember, the deficit was 15 points against Georgia late in the first half. Big Z hit a 3. It was Arkansas's first. They were 0 of 10 before that to cut it to 12. And so that 12-point deficit, Arkansas overcame it to win by 3. That was the second largest deficit ever at halftime Arkansas to overcome inside Bud Walton Arena to win a game. Arkansas was down 13 and got it within 4 at halftime, and then has done everything to stay in this game and then finally take a lead. And there were several possessions there where it felt like Arkansas was, not finishing it plays it should to get over the hump, but they're still getting over the hump. So, looks like Avicic is called for a foul. That's the right call, it looks like. It was maybe a late whistle. No, it was on time. 3 free throws for Oklahoma. I guess they're going to review it. So let's see what the review's about. I don't have volume up on this. I guess they were trying to confirm it was a foul. It looked to me on the replay it was a foul. I guess the officials needed to review it as well. Calipari is disputing the call. So 6-point lead. You're not going to win every single possession, but fouling a 3-point shooter. We said it over and over again. Arkansas did a great job in the first half of keeping OU off the free throw line. I think the Sooners at this point are probably 7 of 10 at the line. They're going to get 3 more. So you're starting to see an advantage for OU in this game. I don't know, Northweather, that's his name, Luke Northweather, hit the first. He's got 2 more. Again, 80+% free throw shooting team. Made the second, it hit every part of the rim and fell through. Good for him. Down to 4. So this one free throw trip can cut the lead in half if he makes this final free throw. So 10 of 13 now for OU. They're on pace for their 20 free throws per game. On pace maybe to get to 80%. Arkansas, again, I just don't think shooting threes is the formula here. Turnover, Razorbacks, miscommunication. Again, poise with the lead, poise trying to overcome deficits, poise. You saw it work out against Georgia just by just grinding. Arkansas's not grinding as much right now, shooting threes, and that was a play where there was a miscommunication. Z was trying to pop for a corner. Richmond was driving and thought he was going to stay closer range, and the pass, Z was already running the opposite direction. It went out of bounds on the baseline. So Arkansas. Again, this is an OU team. If you can keep them off the free throw line, you probably got a chance to go ahead and finish this game. Another foul call on a 3-point shooter, Jeremiah Fears. Nelly Davis on this one. This is just this encapsulates what these Razorbacks have been. I said it all year long, and y'all have heard me say this. Arkansas zigs when it needs to zag. It zags when it needs to zig. The last thing you can do is put OU at the line. This is how this team can beat you. And not only is Arkansas putting them at the line, but they're giving them 3 each time now. It's 3 free throws each trip. Jeremiah Fears hits all parts of the rim, and ball bounces up off the backboard and falls through. So 2 possessions, no field goals for OU, but 6 free throws, back-to-back offense possessions. One more to go here for Fears to tie this game at 50. So that short-lived 6-point lead for the Razorbacks, the Hogs have just basically done themselves in this, not for the game, but just an opportunity to expand. And it's the kind of stuff they've done all year long. You rarely see, it's not very many games you see 3 shots on a fouled 3-point shooter. I mean, it happens. It's not uncommon, but back-to-back possessions, I don't know if I've ever seen that on any level. I'm probably haven't forgotten. It's rare. But that's the Razorback brand this year. Now they call a foul off the ball on OU that puts Arkansas in the 1-and-1. I think it was maybe Nelly Davis trying to curl for a catch opportunity in the flow of the offense to shoot, and he was fouled before the ball ever got to him. Whistle blown. He's a 94% free throw shooter. Rattles in the first one. Wasn't clean, but it went in. Arkansas back up by a point. This cannot become a free throw shooting game because that's going to be advantage Oklahoma. Arkansas's got to stop fouling. OU's up to 16 free throw attempts now and has made 13 of those. And Arkansas just took it 9th and 10th, and they're at 80%. So, again, the margins, I always talk about how you've got to stay within them and close. And Arkansas, it was even a few minutes ago now, OU's got the advantage in the free throw game in a 2-point game. Goaltending on Avicic. Arkansas did a poor job there defending the drive by Fears. He got all the way to the basket. Avicic slow to recover. He did challenge the shot, but after it already hit the backboard. So that's a goaltending call and the correct call. OU pressing. Davis loses the ball, coming to get it, but then regains possession. It bounced off of him. He's trouble handling the ball once he crossed midcourt. We're seeing why now you can't run any offense with Davis as a primary handler. He's not a good ball handler, and he's really not a shot creator either. But he's getting a catch and shoot opportunity from 3. That was short. OU with the defensive rebound. Game's tied at 52. OU. Nelly Davis stopped playing defense to tell the official a player traveled. Player blew right by him. Jalen Moore, I believe, down the paint. And Arkansas gets a deflection and a steal or a Duthero roll into the basket. That's smart. Foul him. I mean, that was a dunk or a layup if OU doesn't foul him. 7:54, we're going to be at a dead ball timeout, 52 all. The Razorbacks will be shooting free throws to Duthero, who's done a better job lately of hitting at a high percentage at the line, and now you're coming down the stretch, you're going to have to do that. Again, I said that. This is what Arkansas needs to do. They need to attack. Stop selling for threes. They keep taking threes, the Razorbacks do. I don't think that's a good idea. But I'm a broken record now, 45 minutes in. What else is there to talk about? Again, Kentucky lost today. I was mentioning that Kentucky lost at Vanderbilt. The Wildcats have lost on the road in non-conference at Clemson. They lost at Georgia. I think they've lost maybe 3 in a row. So they've got, there's a team that's still ranked ninth. It's a better team than Arkansas at this point. But that's Arkansas's next opponent after a bye. Florida, again, won big today with that win over Georgia by 30 at home. Big game tonight and I have no idea what's up with that, with Tennessee at Auburn. I think Tennessee's ranked 6, Auburn's number 1. And Janai Broome, after the high ankle sprain, only out, I think, 10 days. He was slated to return tonight. Oh, they're showing a score update, 33 all with 10 minutes to play in the second half. That's an ugly game. 33 points and 10:40 to go in the second half. 33 all. Missouri beats Ole Miss on today in Columbia, I believe. Both teams ranked, so this is a good Missouri team. A team that went 0-18 in league play last year, and you were starting to wonder after Arkansas started 0-5, because Missouri owns Arkansas in football. Been owning, haven't really owned Arkansas in basketball, but owned them in in Columbia. Arkansas will get them back in Bud Walton. Owned them by 18 in Boogie Flan's last game to play. Interesting on Boogie Flan, they had said he had successful thumb surgery. The U of A has not formally put in any of their messaging and press releases said that he's lost for the season. That was John Rothstein with CBS Sports reporting. What the U of A said in a release was that Flan will rehab with the team. He's rejoined. He's back in Fayetteville. Gonna be rehabbing with the training staff, and that his return is unknown. Well, that's vague. That's a vague statement. Return is unknown, because that doesn't mean they're not sure when he'll return to be a Razorback. It could mean it's unknown when he's going to return to be able to play basketball again. In terms of there's not a timeline right now, because that's how they phrased it. No timeline for a return. But in the post game the other night, after we knew he had successful surgery after the win over Georgia, Calipari did not say anything remotely close to there's a chance we get him back. In the Zoom presser earlier I think yesterday maybe, Arkansas assistant coach Chuck Martin was on there and said nothing about a return to the Razorbacks. Just that the team was glad he was back in Fayetteville, but glad that he had successful surgery. And so those are turns of phrase that don't go as far as to say we won't get him back, but they're not saying that, but they are not giving any crack of the door daylight that maybe he could be a Hog again. So I believe John Rothstein's reporting. I said all that to get back to that. I think that's accurate. And it's the smart thing to do at this point. Make sure that you get that rehab, get prepared for that NBA draft. He's a projected one and done, projected first round pick. Texas with that 70-69 win over 13th ranked A&M today. So the Longhorns are picking themselves up now 3-4 in league play. A team that was ranked preseason and started slow, not only in non-conference but in league play, doing better than Arkansas at this juncture. Hogs got to win this game. I said it over again. By the way, Arkansas's win over Georgia was ranked 29th in net coming into today. That still counted as a quad one win after the 30-point road loss today against Florida. My guess is when net updates tomorrow, Georgia, ranked 30th today, is going to slide out of that top 30. And so that'll be a quad 2 win. This is for sure a quad 2 win if Arkansas can get against OU, but Arkansas doesn't have any quad 2 results. And so that's okay. You pick up, but you're going to be back to 1-7 in quad 1. And it all matters when you get to March, when the net rankings finally come to an end and you know exactly where the quad results are. But for now, Arkansas's got a lot more work to do aside from just maybe winning tonight. I think, again, I'm going to say it again, it's my theme tonight. Stick a fork in the Hogs for this season if they lose tonight. Not saying they won't win again. I'm saying I don't see any realistic path to making the NCAA tournament. You'd have to believe Arkansas would go on some crazy run that this roster doesn't look built for. By the way, Thero made both free throws coming out of that timeout. So Arkansas went back. Is that back up 2 now? 54-52. We're nearly 50 minutes in, still 7.5 minutes to go before halftime. Um, Oklahoma continues to show initial press. They trap the inbounds pass. Good job by DJ to get it back to the inbounder before that trap could cause problems. Inbounder was a Duthero. He brought it up. Arkansas now in half court, but it did get Arkansas maybe a little slow going. Two-man game's been decent tonight with Big Z. Another three-point attempt by Thero, no good. Arkansas continues to shoot threes. You're seeing very little. I like DJ Wagner driving. If you're going to play two-man game, let's get some hard rolls to Thero and even Avicic. He's made some shots. Good drive for OU. Looked like a DJ Wagner kind of finished. Game's tied again. 54 all, 6:50 to play. Arkansas's back on offense. I mean, again, the recipe for winning for Arkansas is not shooting threes all night, and mostly was what this team has done in this half. Yeah, they've made a few, but I don't trust it as your go-to. Wagner just drove, missed the layup, battled for his own offensive rebound on his miss, got it, saw Adu Thero rim running, passed away from the basket to him, but Thero was coming to the basket, goes up and punches it, 56-54 Arkansas. Thero's having a better second half. He's hit a three. He's got that dunk. He's made a couple of free throws. He had the steal to slow down an OU, to stop an OU transition. So we've had 8 ties in this game, 4 lead changes. Arkansas's back in the lead. .2 on the shot clock. Ball fake by a guard on a drive. Adu Thero leaves his feet, fouls. I want to see a replay of that. They're showing the Thero dunk off the DJ Wagner hustle play, the blue collar offensive rebound and dish. I thought he's getting 2 free throws here. Arkansas's in the bonus. Both teams are now with 8 fouls, but this is 2 free throws for the Sooners. So not a 1-and-1. First one's good. This is the only way, in my opinion, OU can win, is just continue to send them the foul line. They're a great free throw shooting team. It's part of what they use to make it work. After giving up only 4 free throw attempts in the first half, OU shooting their 17th and 18th foul shots here for the game. So Arkansas, just an awful job of keeping OU off the line. Made both. 15 of 18 now. This is more what you see with OU in terms of percentage and volume. So advantage OU. Arkansas has done a good job of the line, hasn't shot as many. And I haven't seen any reason to think Nelly Davis wanted to foul off the ball again. Bad pass, turnover. Oh, Nelly gets his 3rd steal in the backcourt after Arkansas turn it over. He fights for the ball, takes it from the OU player, and looks like he got fouled going to the basket. So he's going to get 2 free throws. This is what Arkansas has to do. I said it in the postgame after Arkansas beat Georgia. From now on, the recipe is blue collar, attack the basket, be disruptive, find ways to get to the free throw line, to attack the paint. That's the strength of the team. Hit some threes tonight, probably settled for too many, but that's the kind of play you need. Now Nelly's at the line. OU's up to its 9th foul. This will be 2 shots anyway because he was in the act of shooting. Hits the first one. He hasn't swished one yet. They've been hitting the rim, so that was not fully a clean free throw, but it doesn't matter. It counts. 57-56. The next foul that Oklahoma commits now, Arkansas, whether they're in the act of shooting or not, will be 2 shots. That's big. Nelly made both. Big game for him. Big game for him. Not shooting-wise still. He still does some questionable stuff out there, but 3 big steals tonight. He had a big offensive rebound in the first half. And made a layup off of it, I believe, as well. And then he's got a couple of threes in the game. Had another drive all the way to the basket in the first half. And now he's making free throws again. So he might be 5 of 6 now. I'm not sure about that. Another drive and layup for OU. They've gotten a couple here down the stretch. The idea here is do a better job defensively and just make sure you don't foul them. Arkansas didn't foul that play for an and one, so that's good. Because if you foul now, you better make sure they don't get a bucket. Another deflection on a Wagner pass. Another deflection on a pass to Knox, who bobbled the ball. Drives in, misses a lefty layup, but Arkansas, Brazil, and Knox go after their own miss. Force OU knocks it out of bounds, trying to get a defensive rebound. That's why you battle on the glass. That's why you play with effort. Arkansas has been so soft, as the players said they were viewed as in the postgame after winning against Georgia, saying they were viewed as the soft around the SEC as the soft team. And they had a point to prove against Georgia. They're kind of playing that way right now after not doing it for most of the first half. Being kind of another loose ball turnover for Arkansas, just throwing the ball away. They've just really done a poor job of handling the ball here. OU with an uncontested layup. Nelly Davis on that. So that possession, Arkansas had multiple players bobble the ball until finally they turn it over and OU got an easy score. Again, lack of opportunistic clutch play from these Razorbacks when it matters. They're going to have to get something going here. Wagner overshoots a 10-footer. Brazil gets a putback attempt, misses it. OU gets the rebound. This is a scary stretch for Arkansas. Now we're under 4. You got one more automatic timeout coming at a dead ball. OU misses a 3. Arkansas gets a defensive rebound. So back on offense, Arkansas down 60-58. The pace is advantage Arkansas in this game. OU came in averaging 80 points per game. Pace. Free throw line was an advantage. It's no longer for the Hogs. And then just these awful ball handling mistakes. Arkansas had Brazil rolling and OU trapping DJ. And DJ's really mishandled the ball a lot on some of his pass attempts. They're getting deflected. He's late on them. He's taken one extra dribble too much. There was a miscommunication on Nelly's bad pass turnover with Brazil. They just miscommunicated him. Davis on that previous possession before the last one, as we're at a timeout, threw it into a void going away from Arkansas's basket. So it was at midcourt. OU scoops it up and throws it ahead for an uncontested layup. Not a lot of easy scores, but that was one. Arkansas's had a few defensive letdowns here, not only fouling three-point shooters, fouling in general, but then there's been 3 or 4 layups off just not, even though Arkansas's kept OU scoring down and probably done a better job defending the 3 in the second half, then again, it's become a free throw game. And then it's when do you have defensive letdowns in a tight game? Sometimes those things start adding up and they matter in terms of whether you win or not. And it's, I think, one of the reasons why Arkansas lost home games early to Ole Miss, to Florida at home, and even on the road to LSU, they can't sustain quality play, especially in moments in the game where you maybe have a chance to get over the hump. You felt like Arkansas might do that tonight, going up 6, and anything but that with those back-to-back fouls on three-point shooters. I mean, we'll look at that if Arkansas loses the game as the turning point. Arkansas was up 50-44 and outplaying OU at that point, and then those you just bailed them out by starting to generate those free throws for an elite free throw shooting team. 58 minutes in, we're definitely going to go over an hour tonight. I probably won't go this long again. I'll probably go back to, when I do the in-game and post-game, I'll probably go back to the final 10 minutes. Just wanted to try it out. But again, I say this, if we're looking around tonight, DJ Wagner, until these last few minutes, I thought was playing a pretty good game. Nelly Davis doing some good things here and there, but then there's some head-scratching stuff. Big Z's been Arkansas's best front court true big man tonight. He's played better, I think, than obviously Jonas Edu. We're not seen much of. He was not having a good game, period. He and Nelly have just had too many games where they're persona non grata. Let's just say it. And these were all SEC projected guys. And it's why Arkansas looks like they do. You got to win this game. You'll take it any way you can get it. An ugly win is beautiful. When you started 0-5 against Georgia, an ugly win tonight to get to 2-5 is gorgeous. And then you've evened up your home record in league play. You're starting to maybe build some belief, but you got to do it. It's there. Opportunities there for Arkansas. Auburn with a 2-point lead, 47-45 at the under 4-minute timeout there as well. Man, I mean, Arkansas again. Opportunities to take care of home court tonight, down 60-58. The Hogs, I think, are in possession of the ball. No, DJ at the free throw line. This is really a poor stretch for DJ coming down here. He did get the offensive rebound on his missed shot and gave it to Thero for that dunk. Missed the first free throw, made the second. OU's on offense, so I can talk about it now. It's not live. Arkansas still down 1. So I look at your guards. You got to make both free throws at this point. DJ gets a deflection, goes out to Northweather, who misses a 3-point attempt. OU saves the offensive rebound. Arkansas goes right to an OU player, rolling to the basket for a layup. So that wasn't even a pass, really. It was just a pinball play, and OU gets a bucket, up 3 now. It's these little things, man. It's these little things that make all the difference. Nelly misses an 8-footer in the paint. OU back on offense. I got one more put a fork in him comment, but I'm saving it for the end of this game. God, Arkansas gives up a wide open layup opportunity, and OU missed it. Player blew the layup. You see why that team's 1-4. So what was working for Arkansas to get back into this game, they continue to give up drives all the way to the basket, the fouling and free throws they've given up, and then just the 50-50 ball nonsense. And then you've got to make all your free throws at this point. You can't have your guards going to the line and missing free throws. You understand sometimes some of the big men aren't great free throw shooters. But the guards, you can't have it. Cannot have it. Arkansas is down 3. Arkansas in possession of the ball. Now they're on the bench in a timeout. Calipari's drawn up a play. So a miss 3. They're showing the replay. Air ball. Jeremiah Fear saves it. Tries to throw it off a dude Thero, who's out of bounds. And the ball hit inbounds, and an OU player just got to it before Razorback and laid it in. It wasn't even a pass. It wasn't by design. There's a line out of one of my favorite movies, Wall Street, where Gordon Gekko has a line in there. He's criticizing somebody that he was dealing with, and he said if this guy opened up a funeral home, people would stop dying. And Arkansas kind of plays that way sometimes. If they, if there's a way, I mean, back-to-back possessions fouling 3-point shooters. That last play, just 3 Hogs around a loose ball, and the OU guy finds it and lays it in. I mean, just things you don't think should happen at least more than once or twice in a game. And you could, 6 or 7 times with these Hogs, man. But let's see what they do here. We are over an hour and 3 minutes. For anyone that's been here, thank you. Wow, Nelly Davis, clutch. Another 2-man game with Big Z on the out of bounds. I've been criticizing out of bounds plays for Arkansas out after timeouts. And it was a contested 3 in the corner, the left corner. He knocks it in. And Arkansas gets a stop. And Carter Knox with a big defensive rebound. We're tied 62-all. Nelly Davis, technically with 3 threes. This is his best league game. Let's see if Arkansas continue the good. Man, Nelly's now in an ISO situation. Calling Big Z to go 2-man. Passes to Big Z. Cuts. Big Z doesn't seam. Mishandles the ball. Ball's on the court. Both teams dive on it. Tie ball, possession OU. So here's what's got to happen for Arkansas. when they play two-man game with either Jonas Adu or Big Z. If you pass on the dribble handoff to those guys, you got to get it back quickly. You cannot, if you run away from them and roll away, someone's got to be popping from somewhere else and getting to them quickly. Because you notice when they have to put the ball on the floor away from the basket, they can't handle it. They can't handle it. Arkansas's guards aren't great ball handlers either, but they're better than that. So now that's a turnover. OU got it back, 62 all. Arkansas continues to give itself a bigger hill to climb by unforced, self-inflicted wounds. So initially I thought they called a foul on Adu Thero, but it looks like Porter Moser wants a timeout after OU had already started its possession. So I'm not sure now how much time's on the clock, but we're down to another nail biter. Another game scored in the 60s. That favors Arkansas. Again, OU was a good team shooting from two coming in, a really good team shooting from three, 37%. I mentioned it a million times. I'll say it again, over 80% from the free throw line. And a team that shoots over 20 per game there. So they're right at the number, but Arkansas's got this game in the 60s. They grinded the previous game down. This is how Arkansas is going to have to win games. The problem here tonight was, and I complained about the three-point shooting, Arkansas has at least made 10, probably. I think they're up to 10 now. And so, my game plan wouldn't be to shoot as many as Arkansas did, but you're not going to make 10 unless you're taking them. And so they may even be advantage Arkansas relative to Oklahoma shooting from three at this point. The free throw line's not too much of a disadvantage for the Hogs where the number is now. It's close enough. You're finding ways, if you're the Razorbacks, to be in this game. But OU's got possession after that lousy offensive possession for the Hogs. Aside from that after timeout out of bounds play, 3-point shot by Nelly, Arkansas has just not been good offensively with some of these turnovers and gaffes. And then you had that DJ Wagner 1 of 2 free throw chip. OU's going to shoot free throws with 1:15 left. Drive to the basket. And this is what I've been saying Arkansas needs to do. They're at the point in the game, stop taking threes and make sure you're not isolating your big man with the ball out away from the basket. Get to the basket. 62 all, 1:15, Jalen Moore at the line. This is the fourth Oklahoma free throw shooter that's hit 2 parts of the rim at least with the ball bounding up off the backboard and fall back through. First free throw good. When it pours hard, doesn't it? Short on the second one. Arkansas bobbles the defensive rebound but gets it. This team, it's like the hands are hot potato hands for the Hogs. It's going to be tough to win a lot of games in this league when skill players are not great with the ball. They're not great shooting it. They're not great handling it. That's what Boogie brought to the table. Arkansas on offense. Big Z 1 of 3, couple of ball fake. Arkansas got late in clock. Nelly Davis took a 30-plus footer. Hit the rim, no good. Arkansas down 1 OU on offense. Arkansas's got to get a stop. Arkansas's got to get a stop. That's it, period. And you got to, just too many 3-point shots. Not enough design to get to the basket. Just not enough determination to. Offensive foul on a screen, that's for OU, that's a turnover. 24.7 seconds left. Arkansas down 1, gets the ball back. So that's good news here. Down 1. Look, Arkansas, on that last possession, Avicic was trying to shoot threes. Nelly Davis settled for a long one because it was late clock. Arkansas's got to put pressure on the rim. Get in that paint, try to create a foul, or get a closer range shot. They're just not a 3-point shooting team despite having made 10 tonight. And they continue to try to do that. Shoot threes. I don't understand it. So sometimes you'll look back on a game and go, well, they were better but the fact that they had some success from three might end up being their undoing. They got to quit settling, especially with 24.7 seconds left. They've got to go to the basket. The Razorbacks do. They've really been trying to run a lot through Nelly. He hasn't handled the ball particularly well. Neither has DJ. So, you've got to figure out here who you trust to go create a shot. I might try to run something for Adu Thero. He's Arkansas's most clutch player at this point. It was Boogie Fland. I think it's Thero. I'm going to go to Thero. I'm going to set something up for Thero coming out of this timeout. They haven't broke the huddle yet. He's the guy. You got to get him the ball. He's not a good ball handler either. But if you can get him in that horns elbow area and just let him go to work and drive in, and then you've got to hit everybody hitting the glass on this because you don't know that you're going to get a foul call. But this is what I do coming out of this timeout. I'm going to set something up and try to get Thero going to the basket. Get the ball to him. Arkansas is inbounding now. I'm actually live, so I'm not going to say anything else. And the crossing midcourt with DJ handling it right at 20 seconds. Thero's nowhere near the ball. 12 seconds left. Calipari calls a timeout. So Arkansas dribbled down half of what remaining clock. They'll inbound on. Obviously, they're inbounding on the backcourt side of half court prior. Now they'll inbound on their side of half court, but I don't know the point there. But maybe there's a plan here. Thero was nowhere near the ball on that set, though. He was on the weak side on the baseline, and it didn't look like there was any action to get him the ball. But maybe the whole plan was to do what they've done here and set something up on this part of the court with 12 seconds to go. You're down 1, 63-62. Yeah, I mean, if you're Arkansas, if you settle for a 3 here, or OU does a good enough job to force Arkansas into a 3, then that is what it is. But Arkansas's got to do everything within its power here to draw something up, get into the basket. Period, point blank. This team's not good enough to do anything otherwise. Not saying a 3 wouldn't work. I mean, there's always a chance, but they've got to find a way to either score in close range or get to that foul line. Here we go. They're inbounding now. They've got a 4 stack. They went to a Visits. He's got the ball. Put a fork in him. Arkansas loses by 3. Arkansas went to Big Z. They got a backdoor cut off of that on the inbounds play to Nelly Davis. Nelly looked like he might have gotten fouled. We got too far underneath the basket. The shot was wild. He hasn't been a good finisher at the basket at all this season. I don't know why you did that, but that was the play. Thero crashed in for an offensive rebound. No call there. No fouls. They're showing a replay of it. I thought John L. Davis didn't get fouled at the point of the shot. I thought maybe he got pushed in his waist area to get him more off balance. He was being held up. So Adu Thero battled for the. So 0.7 seconds left. They put time on the clock. OU's up 65-62. They got a dunk in transition after that. Arkansas now has to be great from 3. So you can't put a fork in them just yet. I get to say it one more time, don't I? I won't say it again. I've said it too much over the hour plus. But Arkansas, if they lose this game, this team's got – I don't see a realistic path for the postseason. And now you're just trying to keep from being arguably one of the worst teams in program history moving forward. I don't see a – Arkansas inbounded the ball, having to go 94 feet, 80 feet from the basket. They inbounded it to the closest guy with 0.7 seconds left. You had to throw it over midcourt and give somebody a chance to catch and shoot. Might not work, but you had to do that. 12-8 Razorbacks, 1-6 overall, in SEC play. Oklahoma, 15-4 overall, 2-4 now in SEC play. The Sooners have Arkansas's number these last few years. I think this is the 4th consecutive season that these teams have played when you went back to whatever that thing they called in the non-conference in Tulsa. The Sooners went 2-1 against Eric Patrick Musselman's team, the EPM's teams, in that part of the series. And now the first time ever these teams meet in SEC play, OU comes and gets a 3-point win on Arkansas's court. No, I am going to say it. Stick a fork in them. Arkansas, again, I don't think this team's got a shot at postseason. Mathematically, they do. Beyond the SEC tournament, of course, the big dance. Anything's possible, but it seems impossible to me based on what this team is. This was a game that Arkansas made it ugly and should have won an ugly game, and started doing stupid stuff late in this game, fouling three-point shooters, losing the 50-50 ball battle too many times. And even that last play was not a good play. I'm not trusting Nelly Davis to finish anything. The best thing he's done all year as a scorer is a spot-up three-point shooter, which is mostly more miss than hit. He's not a guy that creates a ton of free throws. He did tonight relative to what he usually does, but Adu Thero is the big free throw creator on this team. He's been Arkansas's most clutch player. Why, oh why, did they have a play drawn up to get it to Thero and let him go to work? No, he's not a traditional shot creator, but you don't need that in a game in the low 60s to mid 60s where there's now turning into who can out-tough the other team and maybe get to the free throw line. I'm going to get the ball to Adu Thero. It's what I talked about going into that timeout, going into the previous timeout, is what Arkansas needed to do down one. They didn't do it. Now, there was a good pass from Big Z. It looked to me like Nelly Davis got fouled before he got into his shot, but Arkansas was in the double bonus, so it would have been 2 free throws. But once he actually got into his shooting motion, the OU player that was kind of riding him from behind backed off, and the officials didn't call the initial contact, so they let it go. I think that was wrong on the officials. I think that should have been a foul. It looked like a foul to me, but again, it wasn't on the shot, so maybe you could argue they just considered it no advantage contact. But to me, Davis wasn't in the best position after being contacted. So when he did get to his shot, he was too far underneath the basket, kind of under the backboard actually, and put up a wild errant shot. Adu Thero tried to make a play on it, couldn't get it. OU runs out and transition off of that situation and scores. Again, Arkansas needs to start winning games now to have any shot at anything. You're going on the road to Kentucky in a week. You stay on the road against Texas. You come home against Alabama. This Arkansas team, the way it looks to me, looks like it's going to go 0-3 in that. Not to say they can't pick a win in there. Then you get LSU at home. That's a game you could win. But tonight, against a team that you feel good about, and Arkansas was actually favored in this game, you find a way to lose. And again, Arkansas, not a clutch, poised team. We can now say, instead of building on success against Georgia, we can now start to say, well, was Georgia an outlier? Probably was. But we'll see. But I'm going to wrap it up here, almost an hour, 20 minutes in my coming on at halftime experiment. No, this team's not dancing. That's what I'm saying. Kentucky will win. But yeah, this is, and I think I'm really going to question Calipari's decisions at the end of this game. And I actually taken up as many threes as Arkansas shot in that second half. I know I've just stayed on that and stayed on it. But at the end of the day, that's not what Arkansas does. And it's not what they're good at. And they had some success there, but I just don't think the mentality was right coming down the stretch. And I think the biggest thing really to hang on Calipari is, why didn't they run something through Adu Thero? You don't have to put the ball in his hands way out high. He's not a great ball handler. He's not going to create a shot for somebody else. But you can get the ball to him. You can run something for him, get it to him, free throw line extended, and let him go to work. I trust him to create contact and maybe get a bailout call going hard to the basket. Yeah, Nelly Davis is a better free throw shooter percentage-wise. But he hasn't been in a situation this season where he's really shot very many free throws. Tonight he did. So I guess just looking at it from that standpoint, but man, Thero's been clutch for Arkansas more than any other player outside of Fland, who's now gone. So that would have been my choice. F it. All right. Now I really am signing off, just under an hour, 20 minutes. Thank you for joining me on HogvilleNET YouTube Live. In-game, minuscule moments of post-game. I've been redundant tonight, repeating myself over and over because it's the same old song, same old movie, stale popcorn. Uh, but until next time, thanks for being here. We'll see you then.